I've been working on a terrace just down from the house for, well, much longer than I thought I would. In some spare time just before it got dark a couple of weeks ago, I popped down just to do some pruning, and it turns out it's been 2 weeks. So it's get an idea, it's extending, see the house up there, extending down from what we've cleared up to this year. Little by little we're clearing more and more. So this is predominantly pine, juniper and holm oak, or hollyoaks, it's sometimes known, and well, rosemary. So the intention is to try and get some biodiversity in here and add in almond trees, some fruit trees, but there's so much work to do before we get to that stage. So first of all, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 acres, this terrace. It's a long terrace. It's partly falling down, but it's in fairly good shape. It must be 4 or 5 acres at a small guess. It's very long. So it took me 3 or 4 days to get the tractor in this far, and then I just stopped because it was just going to take too long. Been down here with the wood chipper. It's from a company called Paddocks, which is an Italian manufacturer. Very good price. Nothing similar in Spain for the quality at that price point. This is the small chipper. We've got a larger one by the same company. So last year I was doing a lot of pruning and just piling branches up, but because of the fire hazard we can't really leave them. They stayed this summer, and it's better to chip as you go. Thing is, with one person it just takes forever, so it takes so long. We might have been able to do this in 2 or 3 days. You have one person pruning and felling, another person organising and piling, and another person chipping, but I have to do it all myself. So I'll put a link in the video to this wood chipper video that it goes into more detail on that wood chipper and other products by that company. I think they're excellent. So just so you get an idea, yeah, we got the tractor in that far, and then I decided that I was going to haul it by hand for the rest of the way until I was able to clear a space for the tractor. But it's really quite a pretty terrace. You could barely get through here. I'm going to have to do a second iteration, of course, which will be much more pleasurable than this one, because this first clearing is just not terribly rewarding. You leave it sort of half done, but at least we can get through. I've pruned these holm oaks, so they should do better. I've got several piles of the wood chip, which is fabulous. This is the wood chip. Chips it so well, which I'll put down as a mulch down here where it falls to help improve the soil. These patches with lots of stones, I like to clear the stones and put down the mulch. So yeah, this is this has got potential, this terrace. It's close to the house as well. Clear that little bit there. It runs all the way through here. Some damage there, as you can see, which I'm going to have to repair before we lose it altogether. But it's really quite a nice terrace, this one. Fairly accessible from the house. It runs all the way through here. I haven't finished pruning here. This is basically where I got to. So it's a potential. Yeah, it runs. It's narrower and narrower, and then comes to an end just there. But it's really quite an attractive terrace. I'm going to have to take out some more pine, prune some more of the home oak, get these stones back up on the terracing, on the walls, on the dry stone walls of the terraces. All of this small stuff has also come from the terracing. It's what they call here ripio, and it's a technique that is used that means that when it rains, the extra weight of the water in the soil doesn't push these walls down. You can see some of it there. So they almost a metre behind it, they pile in this smaller shingle. Oh, it's a fair size, but rather than earth, because the weight of the soil when it gets wet can increase by up to 10 times, and that's what pushes these walls down. So when we repair it, we'll have to do the same thing with this ripio in. It allows the water to filter through and doesn't increase the weight right next to the wall and push it down. So of course, if it's torrential rain, which we've had recently, and you get streams forming, that can still happen. So yeah, it was all the way through here, and I really want to get some biodiversity in here. It's this juniper, pine, as I said, and the home oak. The home oak I'd like to try and get more of, because we can get truffles with that. And the rosemary's okay here and there, but I'd like to add some sections of maybe fruit trees or almond. So just so you get an idea of how much I've cleared. This is the path I cleared all the way through for the tractor to be able to tow in the wood chipper, basically. So still got some straggly pines left that I've got to thin. You know, I'll leave the odd pine, but in principle this isn't intended, these terraces aren't really intended as pine forests. So yeah, this is the way I cleared through. Had to take a few larger trees out, and the best route up for the tractor was that. So you can see there, see the house up there, the other outbuilding to the right, and the barn, which is already converted, is just to the left of that. So this terrace is a fair size, and for me has potential because of its proximity to the house. It's a little bit inclined, it's not as flat as some, but there are places where it's quite nice and flat, and I can do some repair work on it. Through there, what you see as pine, it just looks like a hill in the mountain, but it's actually full of terraces. It's just that the pines have taken over, like this one. So the idea is to reclaim that terracing, all of it. So all of that there, pretty much all of that there that you can see is terraced, it's terracing, and potentially we can have crops in there. We can have but just to begin with, my aim is to try and get a bit of, as I say, biodiversity in some other, rather than just the three. Well, it's predominantly actually pine and juniper, with rosemary and other small things, but it's just pine and juniper. It's the only thing that survives this climate without irrigation, and I will get irrigation in as well. So yeah, that's the state of play with this one. As I say, I'll put a link in, and so that you can check out the wood chipper if you're interested in that.